Albert Einstein was one of the smartest physicists in history, and he struggled with dyslexia. He had delayed speech as a younger child, and he also preferred visuals more than reading text. Today I'm going to share with you what dyslexia is and how it can affect people who have it. So myself, I have dyslexia, and it has affected me through school and my education, my learning process, but I've definitely learned how to grow with it and overcome it. So a few points I'm going to be going over today is what dyslexia is, how it can affect younger children and teens, and also how the brain is affected by dyslexia. So to start off with my first point, what dyslexia is. Dyslexia is a language-based learning disability, which kind of points to like reading, writing, and spelling. With dyslexia, your brain works a lot slower because it just works slower to connect words and sounds and things like that. So according to dyslexia.org, research has identified that dyslexia activates lots of different parts of the brain when reading. Usually when you have dyslexia, you use more of your right brain than your left brain. So the right brain is more active. And then also Dyslexia Help. University of Michigan has said that there are a lot of skills and strategies that can help you grow with your dyslexia and overcome your dyslexia. So that's kind of the basics of what dyslexia is. Now we can move on to my second point, which is how it affects teens and younger children. So I'd like to start with a source from childmind.org, and it says that when you have dyslexia, you can have a lot of low self-esteem, just because now when you usually get diagnosed with it, now that you're aware with it, now that you're aware that you have it, and so when you start taking you take more time on tests, you take more time answering questions, even learning, comprehending things, so you're kind of just a little self-conscious. Also, according to dyslexia.org, it says that a lot of dyslexic people have like anxiety and frustration and anger, just because we are a lot slower in the brain, so it takes us a little longer to comprehend things, and so with that comes frustration and anxiety. Like if you're getting called on and your teacher asks you a question, it might take you a little longer to process that question, and you might get a little like anxiety waiting on that answer pop in your head. But as you go throughout middle school and high school, you have a lot of experiences that help you grow with your dyslexia and help you just experience it to where you can kind of know what to do in some situations. Like in high school, there's a lot of more advanced classes, so sometimes like you might have to ask your teacher to repeat the question or put it in simpler terms just to understand it, to comprehend it, so you know how to learn from that. So that's a little bit ways how people are affected by it, like teens and younger children. Now we can move on to my last point, which would be how the brain is affected by dyslexia. So so there's from readingrockets.org, it says that the majority of people they use their left brain more than their right brain, but for dyslexics we use more of our right brain because it has more visual awareness and visual cues, and then your left brain has all the basics of reading, writing, and spelling. So like we don't, as dyslexics, we don't really want to use that part because it kind of slows us down, and we have more like struggle with that part of the brain. If you go on the slide, my visual aid slide, I have a picture of a non-dyslexic brain and a dyslexic brain, and you can clearly see that the non-dyslexic brain has a lot more going on in a bunch of different areas, and mostly on the left side. But when you go look at the dyslexic brain, it mostly shows a lot of activity in the right hemisphere of the brain. So yeah, there's lots of factors that go into that, but just to like kind of sum it all up and everything. So we went over like what dyslexia is, how teens and children can be affected by that, and how the brain works with that. And so just in conclusion, dyslexia is a learning disability, but it's definitely, you can definitely grow with it, and you can definitely get affected by it, but there's so many different ways that you can handle with it. So many children and teens have challenges in school, but that definitely does not define their potential or intelligence at all. And it's good to understand the dyslexic brain, and so that we can better support people who have dyslexia and just know its awareness. So thank you for listening.